Hey, so we're here at Vision Door with Daryl and Stacey, and these guys do garage doors, installation, maintenance, and work with us quite a bit. I think pretty much have done all the garage doors we've put in any building in the last 5 or 6 or 7 years. Yeah. So yeah, we're here with them. Glad you guys are on the show here on Behind the Hammer, and excited to find out more about your business. So why don't we start off just talking about how long you have been in business? You've been here in Enderby for quite a while.
I was actually born in Enderby.
Yeah.
But we've been doing doors in town for 26 years.
Yeah.
So it was, Stacey's dad had a door company before that, and then...
So I've been indoors for 46 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
running as Vision Doors for 26 years now, so it's been good.
Okay.
And people say, like, how come you're based in Enderby? Well, half our jobs are Blind Bay, Salmon Arm area, the other half is Vernon, Kelowna. So it's kind of that central spot where we can have our shop and just hit both directions and be kind of 1 hour radius for everywhere we go. So
Yeah, it is nice for that.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to ask you, how far you service, but
Yeah, we don't go beyond West Kelowna right
Yeah.
now. We go to Revelstoke when we're asked to go there, but it's not a huge market for us. But mainly Vernon, Kelowna, Salmon Arm, Blind Bay, that's kind of
Okay.
the main areas that we're focusing on.
yeah.
Yep.
You were at the Revelstoke Home Show.
We're starting to put our toe in that market.
Yeah.
See, there's a lot of demand. It's just getting there in the wintertime is always a pain.
Miserable.
Yeah, you never know if you're gonna get
Pain.
back or not, so.
What was it, 26 years you said in business?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what are some of the things that you've run into during that 26 years, like challenges that you've run into that, you maybe even, I'm sure in 26 years you've ran into some stuff where you even wonder if you're gonna get through it.
Yeah.
So what would you say is some of the, 1 or 2 of the main challenges that you guys have got through?
I think the biggest thing was coming from the trades. I was a home builder before this, and just an owner operator, truck myself, sometimes a helper,
Yeah.
and trying to get myself out of the truck and operate it as an actual business as opposed to just me and 1 or 2 guys. That's been the biggest challenge, is kind of getting out of my own way and seeing that path forward to actually having a business and not just a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you feel, because I know for myself, I felt this initially trying to get off of the site and do other work. I felt like if you weren't actually, like in your case, installing a garage door, you're not actually working.
100%.
Did you have that feeling?
Yeah, you get that validation when you actually do a job and you see it completed. And so
Yeah.
when you're spending time in the office or in the shop or interviewing people, it's really hard to kind of have that mental switch. You come home at the end of the day and you're more tired being in the office as opposed to swinging a hammer or
Yeah.
installing all day. So that was definitely a challenge to kind of, and let go and let people that are probably more qualified than you to do the tasks that they're doing and not feel like you have your hand on everything, trusting that they can do the job was
Yeah.
kind of a tough one for me, but it's worked well.
Yep. And we focus a lot on the goals of our employees. It's something that's part of all of our staff meetings. What are your goals for this month, this year, and 10 years? And
Yeah.
it's a great way to get to know one another, but to be able to support those goals and their life in doing that. And
Yeah.
We've got some great employees. We have one we're almost celebrating her 10-year anniversary next month, and yeah, she's seen us through a lot of the ups and downs, and I'd say that huge change in the last 10 years is everybody going from paper to online and
Oh, yeah.
online estimates, and yeah, just following a process that is really comfortable for the customers, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
we read a cool book. It's called The Dream Manager, and it's just talking about, they had a guy that came in and his sole position was to go and interview the different employees and find out what their dream is, because with employees you can $1, $2, $5, it doesn't always connect, and that's
Yeah.
not about the dollar. Whereas if you can really connect with what's their goals and where they're getting there and try to help them achieve that, then
Yeah.
you get that buy-in and you've got that person that's kind of feels you're pulling for them. So that's been a big focus for the last probably 3 years, is to try to
Yeah.
establish that, where we're like, hey, we're here for you guys to succeed, and how do we help you get to that spot? Be it a house, be it a new car, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and it might not always be your dream job, but it becomes it because you're achieving your dreams because of what you're doing.
Yeah.
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 Well, if you're miserable at work, you're going to be miserable at the next job and the next job and the next job.
100%.
Like it's generally the person, not the job.
And a lot of our guys will see
Like that.
4 different jobs in a day if we're doing a service calls, right? So to have them in the right mindset when they get to a job, it has to keep going. And
Yeah.
I would far rather, if someone's not having a good day, pull them off, but get them working the shop, because that's their one customer's first time experiencing you, and
Yeah.
you get to go,
Somebody
okay,
that's
this is
having
not
a
the
bad
experience we
day.
want. You know, come to the shop and do your thing. We'll have somebody else go out there and deal with that. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what do you do now, Daryl, for, like, obviously you're not putting the doors in. What's your role?
I've been fired a couple of times, but Stacey now runs the
I've been
show.
fired or
Yeah.
quit a number of times over the years.
Yeah, no, we now for me, I really like to have my pulse on the service and install team to make sure that they're all pulling the same direction as us.
Yeah.
And then scheduling optimization is really something I've learned over the years and had to learn. And so that's a lot of my day is built looking at the computer screen, seeing the schedule, finding out this guy's running long, we got to drop this person in, and just trying to keep it all flowing so everybody gets looked after in the day. It's
Okay.
it doesn't
Like
sound
a bit
like a
of the
big job.
dispatch, sort of?
It's all on the
Or
board
what?
already, but
Yeah.
sometimes like the only job
Shuffling
you can
it
be on time for, it seems, is the first job of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go there and it's supposed to be a 1-hour job, it turns into a 4-hour job. So if that tech has 3 other calls to hit that day, you got to really look at it and go, okay, who can we pull to fill his afternoon because he's not getting out of there in time.
Yeah, oh,
so yeah, it's just trying to keep the right person in the right position and moving in the right direction. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what do you do, Stacey?
So I'm more the general manager, so I'm overseeing the company. I spend a lot of time looking over the numbers and what's the driving force that's coming next, and yeah, making sure that there's productivity in the whole team with the office staff and the support tech team and
Who does the hiring and firing?
we both do. We've got a service manager and an office manager that do the initial interviews
Yeah.
for their team, and then we do the second interview.
Nice.
See who makes the cut.
And then you both fire?
The office and manager and the service manager get
Yes.
to do that.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And one thing we've learned was hire slow, fire quick.
Yeah.
And I'm one that just hangs on too long, you know.
Well,
Oh,
it's
he'll come
easy,
around, they'll
yeah.
come around, she'll come around, and you hold on for maybe 3 months and you see the impact on the whole team. And it's like, if you can identify the problem and get rid of it right off the bat, it's just amazing how it elevates everybody else's feeling, knowing that you're going to take action when you're supposed to take action and not just let something slide.
And it's better for that person too.
That's
They
what
go
I
on
was
and
going
do
to
better
say.
somewhere
I think
else.
that was our first lesson, because you think you're doing them a favor by giving them a job, but then
Not
when
at all.
you see that they leave and they've gone to something working at a mill and it's exactly what they love. Like, that's
Yeah.
where you should be, is where you find your best fit. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny how I think I've only ever fired one person on time
Right on.
or whatever, and it feels good, and they knew it was coming. It wasn't a surprise to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
Well,
if
it
it
really-
drags on, then it's just lowering the
And
standard.
if it is a surprise to them, we haven't done our job as
Exactly.
managers and bosses to try to coach them up to the level you need them, right?
Yeah.
So that, I think we failed if we have to let somebody go and they don't see it coming.
Yeah.
I think that's a downfall.
If it's to the point where you don't like the person, you waited way too long.
Right
Oh
on.
yeah.
Because you can still like someone and they're not, and have to fire them.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's probably why, like, you seem like someone that would like most people.
Yeah,
You probably like them and you want to see them do good.
for sure.
And so then you drag it on. That's the case. That's what I do anyway.
Yeah.
And then, or have done. And then
Yeah.
you're doing them a disservice too.
Yeah. I think for us, we've started to meet once every 2 weeks, one-on-one with the guys or
Yeah.
the gals, and just get that pulse, and then you can lay out the expectations so that, you know, if an issue sits on the board for, 4 weeks,
Yeah.
6 weeks, it's like, hey, this isn't changing. We need to make it in action. And it's like, by then you all know what's going on. There's
Yeah.
no like, oh, you didn't talk to me for 6 months and now I'm fired. Like, why don't I have
That's
a job,
And
right?
it goes
Yeah.
both ways. It also helps the morale of the staff, because if that employee has an issue, they can bring that to you and it be resolved instead of there being
Yeah.
talking in the shop. And
So to the actual doors themselves, like, I know we've talked before and you do a lot of maintenance. You do new installs as well, but then you've pushed hard on the maintenance side and have a lot of maintenance work, right?
Yeah, so right now we're probably 50-50 between maintenance and new installs. New installs are tougher because you're never really meeting the actual client. a lot of times with new construction,
Yeah.
meeting, the contractor putting a door in, you don't get a connection with the homeowner. What we
Yeah.
really like is to be able to go in and you talk to a homeowner, even if it's a and you're taking their old door out, you get to make that connection, and that feels like you got a customer for life when you're done. You kind of meet all their expectations, and you kind of give them a handshake and a pat on the back when you're done, and everybody's happy, where a lot of times that new construction, it's a disconnect, and you need both. I'm not saying
Yeah.
you don't need both, but we really do enjoy meeting customers in their home when they are needing us and be able to kind of have that action right at the time they need us.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think it's
cool.
an education. A lot of people don't step foot in their garage door other than to get in or out of a vehicle, but don't look at the door itself until something goes wrong. And a lot of people can live in a home a long time without knowing what makes that door work. And so I think our guys take a lot of time to educate the customer on what are all the moving parts and why are they important.
Nice. What are the top things, like top few things that a homeowner should look for on their door? Because like you said, I've never even looked at one when we build stuff. I usually just hit the button. I'm like, oh, that's a quiet door. That's nice.
Yeah. So like I would say every manufacturer and opener company that's out there recommends having their door serviced once a year. Nobody
Okay.
does that. Everybody just runs it till it
What's
breaks.
service though?
The service would be you go through your door and lubricate all the moving parts.
Okay.
Inspect the cables for any frays.
Yeah.
Test the weight of the door. When springs are installed, the door might balance, but after 4 years or so, those springs start to tire out, and all of a sudden that door is heavy on the ground.
Yeah.
And so that's causing more strain on your electric opener.
Yeah.
So it's kind of going through, we got a 26-point inspection where you would just kind of go through each part, lubricate, identify issues that could be coming. Broken springs seem to be like the biggest one. No one looks at their door and all of a sudden their spring breaks and their door doesn't open, and you get that 5 o'clock phone call saying, hey, I can't get into my house, or 7
Yeah.
a.m. I can't get out of my house. Those seem to be the big the big drawing cards where people are desperate for a service.
That's
Okay.
right. Yep. And
But why not
rollers.
just wait till it breaks?
Well, when your opener burns, when your spring breaks and then your opener's tired out and you're replacing your opener, and who wants to come out at Christmas Eve at 6 o'clock? If you can hit something and you're like, hey, I don't have to see these guys for another year or two, and you know it's
Yeah.
going to work. I mean, sure, a lot of people sit at home, but most people are out trying to go somewhere, and that inconvenience of missing half a day of work or having to not take the kids to piano practice, whatever it may
But
be.
the wear and tear, I would say those rollers, you've got to look and see, are they actually rolling? Sometimes they're not, and they're dragging, and it's just like driving with your emergency brake on your car. You've got a couple of rollers that aren't turning around, and they've worn a little flat spot in them, and it's just, again, making more work for that opener. So, yeah.
And then commercial's a whole different ballgame. You know, if you're running a warehouse and you're having people come and go all the time, those guys, they get us in every 6 months just to go through it, make sure, because it truly is dollars out the door when their doors aren't working, right? So
Yeah, especially for our dairy farmers and chicken farmers. I'd
Yeah, that
say,
makes
too.
sense.
Yeah,
Car
when it gets
washes.
cold.
fire
Yeah.
halls. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of want the door to work on
That's
the fire hall.
exactly it.
They'll drive right through it probably if they had
Yeah.
to. But what's some other things you've seen that you show up, because I'm sure you show up to a door and you're like, man, how did this happen or whatever? Like, what's some crazy stuff you've seen? I mean, 26 years, you got to have seen something crazy.
We had one last Christmas, and it was right before Christmas. We had installed the door a year ago, and the customer called, and they had a warranty call. Their door wasn't opening, or their door was open, but it was not running. And we showed up, and their car had hit the bottom of the door, and it had pushed the whole door out and back, and it was laying half on the car. And we're like, what?
This is not.
And we're talking, and they're like, well, you just installed this door a year ago. This should be warranty. And you can see the dent on the bottom section from where it actually hit the car. And you're like, okay, we have to get to the bottom of what happened here. But yeah,
This is not an installed
It's
issue.
more like a detective when you go out to that one.
You do have to be a detective somewhat. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and we do, because we do a lot of, we do hangar doors that are 40 feet wide, 16 feet tall. You have a lot of large parts that are moving, and if one little thing goes sideways, it can be pretty scary. So we've seen some definite, whether it would be farm equipment that comes down on the side of a door and then it sits sideways. There's a lot of stuff. But you know what? You get good guys working, and you just tackle each little piece at a time, and pretty soon it's back together and running well for them.
You can do a 40-foot door, like one shot.
It's two 20s with a removable mullion
Oh,
in the
yeah.
middle, and so
Okay,
then they
that's
open the
what I was
doors and
wondering.
slide it off to the side.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I haven't seen a 40-foot overhead.
We've got a
5-fold, but
32 foot is the widest that
Really?
we've got. I think that's the widest I've seen in one piece overhead door.
that's gotta have some serious springs on it.
Oh yeah, like I think it was 8 big 6-inch springs across the top. Yeah.
Why would someone choose to work with Vision Door versus, I mean, you could probably call about 15 other garage door places in the radius you guys serve.
Yeah,
Why
I don't
call you guys?
I can't think of anyone else that has been owner operated for the last 26 years. You see a lot of door companies. It's
But why does that matter to me?
say in 5 years from now, you want to have your door looked at and be able to know that, hey, the same guys that came out here and serviced you before are going to service you again. I think it's about relationship. I really do. I think anybody can come along and sell you a product, but if they're not going to be there in a year or two to follow up with you, you're stuck looking again for somebody else that's going to come in. And so what we try to do is we try to build customers for life. And people will go elsewhere, do other things, but our focus really is now to be able to have the clients that work for us and work for them, and we have that relationship where, hey, you know we're going to be here when you call. It's not a matter of what's going to happen next year.
We are the height of exceptional service.
Yeah, that's right. Good job. Yeah. I think
Head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah. I think one thing we do pride ourselves is our main supplier is Steelcraft.
Yeah.
Canadian made, Canadian steel. There's a lot of products now you'll see that people are bringing in from wherever and putting them in, and that's fine. But I think in this day and age with the climate we're in, it's really nice to be able to say that our Canadian dollars are supporting Canadian companies.
Yeah.
We went to their warehouse and you have actual Canadians building each little roller and putting things together and sitting there stamping all day long. And it's like, that's an actual job and a family that it's feeding. And I thought that was pretty cool because you can offshore buy whatever you want now, but to be able to say that this product is built in Canada with Canadian people, it's pretty cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, I would use you guys if my door was messed up, because you can book it online.
Right on. Yeah.
I didn't even know that, but I was
Absolutely.
talking to my buddy last night, and he's like, said he had you guys booked for Monday because his spring broke.
Right on.
And he just did it all online. I'm like, that's sweet.
That's
I don't want to
convenient,
talk to
right?
anybody. I just want to get it done.
Especially if you get home from work and it's 7 o'clock at night, you're like, okay, I got to remember to call these guys at 8 when they're open.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you just go on
Just
there
go
and
online.
it's pretty seamless. Yeah. I think we're pretty happy with our customer service software. We've
Yeah, maybe
invest-
check and make sure it actually booked them.
It did. I trust it. But I think to be able to have something that can do that as well as track them, where it has every conversation when someone calls in, it has every conversation logged in there. And when the tech is on site, it has all, so like you could go in there and look at John Doe and you'd be like, okay, they were here these days, these are the conversations they had. There's some value there.
And there's photos in there, so you can see what it looked like the day it was installed, and every time we've been out
sweet.
to service the doors as well.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, so if your guys' garage doors aren't working or you need new ones, Vision Doors here in Enderby, you got a website you can book online. What's the website?
Doors.ca.
Visiondoors.ca. You can book online for your service.
Yeah.
Call in, come into the showroom. They got just about every color here you could think of. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks
Awesome.
for
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you for
being
your
on.
time.
You bet.